Hello everyone, welcome to the webinar. Today we are going to discuss on a topic called Manage GST for Regular Dealer with Busy. We conduct this kind of webinars almost in every week. So those who have missed out the previous webinars can check out the recordings from our YouTube channel, that is Busy Accounting Software, and then can also subscribe that channel to get the notifications. So today we are going to highlight on the topic, that is the GST for regular dealer. We all know that there are two methods of managing GST. One is the regular and another one is the composition. So we are focusing on today's webinar related to regular GST. So we'll cover up the topic in this webinar that includes the challenges and the solutions that BIZ is providing. We'll understand both practically and theoretically through this webinar. So stay tuned with us. Are you facing issues in GST management in your business? That means if you are want to manage your GST billing and reporting, or if you need to manage your GST return filing on one time. So don't worry, we are having a solutions. We are giving a powerful solutions for managing your GST in Busy. So let's have a quick look on the challenges. We'll understand one by one. We'll go through practically also. First challenges I am sharing in the screen, that is the to manage or to create a party. In many cases, we find out that whatever software we are using in day-to-day businesses, we need to create a party. So it becomes quite hectic for us to create the party, to mention the party name manually, to put the address manually. So is there any kind of solutions in Busy that will take care about this party creation automatically, or should reduce the time? Then yes, we are giving a solution in Busy. That is a shortcut key called F4. Through this shortcut key, you can create a party instantly and also validate your GSTN number. That means through GSTN number, a party will get created automatically in Busy. You no need to type the party name manually. You no need to type the address manually. So let's check in Busy practically also. Let me share Busy screen. So for example, if you are going to create a party through GSTN number, for that you can go to administrations, masters, account, press add button. In the bottom line, you will find a shortcut to create a party through GSTN number, that is F4. It's written in the bottom line. If you press F4 over here, okay. Now, if you need to put the GSTN number, you can put the GSTN number in the specified GSTN box. So if I put the GSTN number over here, if I click on this validate GST, then you will find the entire detail reflecting on the screen from the portal. So it will help you to validate the GSTN number. And also if you click on this update back and quit, then your party name, your party address, your party GSTN detail all will get picked automatically. So you no need to type it manually. So this is a very required or needed features that Busy is providing, through which you can easily create your party. Coming on the next challenges, that is the party GSTN number correct or not? That means if you need to check out that whether the GSTN number is valid or invalid. So for that, somehow in many cases or in few cases, we find out we need to move on to the portal and check whether the GST number is correct or not. This is taken care by Busy itself. You no need to go to portal. You can check it directly from Busy software. Okay, so for that we are giving an option called GSTIN validation, single and multiple GSTN. That means if you are having a multiple GSTN number of multiple parties, you can in one shot you can validate all the GSTN number of multiple parties, or for a single party. Let me check, or let me show you in the Busy screen also. So for that, or for the option, you can go to transaction GST miscellaneous utilities. Under GST miscellaneous utility, you will find this option called validate GSTN online. And click on this option, you will get an option to select single GSTN or to get the report on the basis of multiple GSTN. And if you select multiple GSTN, and if you click on this load data, then whatever parties you have created in the party master screen along with the GSTN number, you can easily validate. If you click on this select all button, if you click on this validate online, then it will get it validated for you directly from the portal. So this is how you can easily manage to validate multiple GSTN number in a single shot from Busy. Coming on the next challenges, is the items HSN code correct or valid or invalid? So for that, Busy also is giving a solution to get the validation of your HSN code. So we are having an option in Busy called HSN validations. You can also validate HSN code single or as well as multiple also. So let me show you in Busy screen the option. It's also available under transaction, GST miscellaneous utilities, and then validate HSN online. So from here you can get an option to click select HSN or to click multiple HSN. That means if you need to get validation of your multiple HSN code of your multiple item, then you can click on this multiple HSN. You can validate on the basis of item group. Let's say, for example, you have created multiple item group. You want to filter the items on the basis of group and you want to validate that particular items or items of that particular group. Then you can select on the basis of item group, or you can select all item and you can click on this load data options. Here another option is coming that is called include item with blank HSN. That means if you have not put any HSN code on that particular items, then that item should also reflect on this screen. So if you are going to include that item also where HSN is blank, then also you can click on this option. You can click on this load data button to get the update of your item names as well as the HSN code. Now you can click on this select all and you can click on this validate online button to update it in one shot, to get the detail from the portal in one shot. So it's simply collecting the detail from the portal and it is reflecting on Busy screen. You can see it's showing that this HSN code is valid and the description of this HSN code is this. So it's coming directly from the portal. So you no need to move on to portal to get it, check it from there. Coming on the next challenges, that is how to manage GST billing. That means we are having different type of billing structure or system, you can say. We may be having a billing system called item-wise billing. That means if you need a multiple taxation in a single transaction, if you need a inclusive billing, which mostly used by the retail industries, that means tax inclusive. Or if you need to do a billing that is tax exclusive, then different type of billing you can do it from Busy. In Busy, we are giving both the inclusive and exclusive billing system. Let me show you practically in Busy. If you go on the, if you come on the Busy screen, so if you're going to do a sale entry, come on the sale entries, and if you put the sale voucher numbers or whatever voucher number that may come automatically also. Now you can select the sale type. That means you may be having different type of transactions related to taxation. It may be a item wise, it may be a multi-rate, it may be a nil rated, it may be a inclusive. If you select inclusive, that means if you select any of the party, for example, and if you select the item over here, and if you put the quantity and put the price over here, and if you press enter over here, you will find the tax percentage is coming, which is reflecting direct from the item master that I have mentioned. The taxation detail I have mentioned in the item master. So that's why it's coming directly from the item masters. And the 8,000 value that is coming, that is inclusive of tax. If you need to get the back calculations, that means the taxable amount, you can click on this tax summary detail. Once you click on this tax summary detail in the left side, it will show you the taxable amount as well as the GST amount. If you do exclusive billing, that means if you want to say that I want to generate a bill or I want to generate a transaction with multiple taxation, you can select this option called item wise. That means a single transaction, you can use multiple item with multiple taxes. That means for this item, the tax category may be a 12%, then it's coming 8960. So it's adding the tax amount. Next, you select another items. Okay. So for this item, if you have mentioned different tax rate, then it will calculate on the basis of that. You can see that in this item, I have mentioned the tax type as exempted. So that's why its tax rate is not coming. So in this single transaction, you can use multiple item with multiple taxation. That is called item wise. You can use item wise also. You can use multi-rate also. The difference is between item wise and multi-rate is for in case of multi-rate, you need to click on this apply tax button to get it calculate in the bottom line or in bill sundries. In case of item wise, it will reflect after pressing enter in the amount, but in case of multi-rate, it will reflect in the bottom line. Okay. If there is a dual taxation system, that means for item for this item there is a 12% GST, for this item there is a 18% GST, then double CGST and SGST would may have appeared in this bill sundry screen. This is all about the different method of doing transaction in different taxation way. Coming on the next challenges is how to file GSTR-1 or IFF, that means invoice furnishing facilities. So in Busy, we are giving a solution in this case also. You can file the GSTR-1 in a single click, or you can upload the GSTR-1 or IFF in a single click. So how you can do it? Process is that first the first step you have to manage, that is to basically you have to go to configuration, you go to features and options, and then you come on the GST flat VAT options and you put the GST portal username over here. Okay, once you put this, you can go to display options, and under GST report you will find GST returns, and then if you click on this GSTR-1 e-returns, there you will find an option to click on direct upload. Now if you click on this direct upload, you can specify your starting date and ending date to upload the data. And also here an option will appear, skip IFF, invoice furnishing facilities. That means if you have filed your returns for first month and second month through IFF, then you can skip both the month and you can file the return for the third month of a quarter through GSTR-1. Okay, and if you say that no, I have not filed the return through IFF, because what rule says that if you have in a quarter, there include 3 months. So first 2 months you can file the return through IFF, but the last month is needed to be filed through GSTR-1. So if you have filed the returns IFF the first month and the second month, then you can skip the both month and you can file the return for third month. Okay. If you click on this none option, you want to say that I want to file the return for each and every month through GSTR-1, then you can press OK button. Now before going to file the return directly in the portal or upload the return directly in the portal, Busy will guide you over here. How Busy will guide you? Busy will provide an option to check whether you have done any mistakes in the transaction. Click on this option called check error in transactions, and you will find the error details over here if you have done any mistakes. If you have not done any mistakes, then this screen will appear as a blank screen. Okay, you can see I have done mistakes in some of the entries. Like say in this entry, I have done mistake that I have used. If I double click over here, I will get the entry detail. I have used a GSTN number with a party where this GSTN number is wrong. So I have wrongly provided the GSTN number, so you can easily rectify it, and against that you can get the rectification done from this screen, and the entry will disappear from this screen once you rectify the GSTN number in the party master. Once it get done, now you can click on this proceed with direct upload button. It will get upload automatically in the portal. So before going to upload in the portal, it will ask you to put the OTP. OTP will come on your register phone number. You put the OTP and the data will get uploaded, or the file will get uploaded in the portal. This is how you can file your GST1. If you want to file the return through IFF, you can click on this option. Here also we are giving a direct upload button. From here also you can upload the return. So before going to upload in through IFF, you can also check the error in transactions on this screen. So same process is also in the IFF also, to check the invalid entries and to rectify the entries before going to file the return, before going to upload the return in the portal. On the next challenges is how to check which supplier do not file return on time. From my point of view, this is the most required feature, and this is the highlighted feature of Busy, because in most of the software you will not found this feature coming. That is the return filing status, checking of return filing status, because it helps the CAs. It also helps the customers to the verification that whether the supplier has filed the return or not, whether the client has filed the return on proper time or not. Return means to file GST1 as well as 3B. So in Busy we are giving an option to check return filing status. How you can get this option? That you can come on Busy screen, and in Busy screen under transaction, under GST miscellaneous utilities, you will find an option called check party return status. So if you want to check the filing status of all the parties, it may be a supplier, it may be a customer, all the transacted parties, then you can click on this transacted party. If you need to check the filing status of your own company, then you can click on this self. If you need to check the filing status for a particular party, it may be a supplier, it may be a customer, then you can click on this one party. If you click on this check from GSTA portal, and let's say for example I am selecting Busy Infotech and I am selecting the financial year against which I am going to check the return status. If I select both over here, if I press OK button, then from the portal it will fetch me the detail that on this month Busy has filed GST1 on this date, Busy has filed GST3B on this date. This is the last filing date in case of financial period for Busy to file the return of GST1 as well as 3B. So this is the key highlighted features in Busy that will help the CAs, the tax consultants, the accountant, as well as the customers to go through the filing status of their customers as well as supplier and their clients also. Moving on the next challenges, this is also a very required features, or you can say, or a very unique feature that Busy is providing. That is to adjust the GST value, or to post a auto journal, or to adjust the GST value through auto journal posting. Because whenever we see the GST summary report, we figure out that this is the total GST amount we need to pay to government, or this is the total CGST amount or SGST output or input amount that need to be adjusted, that we say as input output adjustment or cross adjustment. So we need to figure out or we need to calculate the values from the report, and then we need to do the journal entry manually in other software. But in Busy, we are giving this in automated mode. How? Let me show you practically in Busy. Suppose if you are going to GST summary report, which is under display option, GST report and GST summary. If you click on this GST summary reports and you mention the specific starting date and ending date, and if you press OK button, then you will get the entire detail of the total taxable amount according to the starting date and ending date, the total IGST amount, the CGST amount, the SGST amount. Now, if you need to figure out that how much GST I need to be get adjusted, how much input GST is need to be get adjusted with output GST, and the remaining is needed to be paid to the government, then you no need to think about it. Busy will guide you over here. How? If you press F4 button, it is also written in the bottom line. F4 for posting adjustment and payment vouchers. If you press F4 from this screen, you will get an options to basically do the adjustment a different way. It may be any kind of, is there any RCM entries that needed to be get payment? So if you need to do a RCM payment entry, you can click on this RCM payment. If there is any value for RCM that is needed to be do the payment for against that RCM amount or taxation amount, then you can see the debit ledger has been posted automatically. The related ledger will get posted automatically. You no need to mention it manually. And the credit ledger, you can change it. By default, it's selected as HDFC Bank, but you can change it according to your bank name. Click on the save button. Then if you click on add new, then from here general posting will take place, where your ledger will take your relevant ledger will be debited and the relevant ledger will be credited also. And you can see the GST nature has also been selected automatically. So once you press F2 button to proceed further, then you can do the payment entries of your RCM value. Another way, if you press F4 button, you can do the RCM to regular tax adjustment. That means if you have done any RCM entries in Busy, you want to adjust that RCM tax amount with your regular tax amount, then you can click over this. If there is any RCM amount available that needed to be get adjusted with your IGST or CGST or any else, then you can click this, or you can press F4 button. So here you can see there are certain amount available in RCM. So the ledger posting has taken place accordingly. The IGST input has been debited and the IGST input available RCM has been credited. To press F2 button over here, if you press yes, then also from here the general posting will take place, where the GST nature will get selected automatically as GST tax adjustment. You can see the relevant ledger has been posted automatically along with the value. You no need to calculate and you no need to figure out, and you do it manually. So once you proceed with the F2 button, then you can proceed further for RCM to regular tax adjustment, and it will also reflect. Once you save this, it will reflect on this report. Okay, so whatever amount adjusted, it will reflect on this screen in this row. Okay, so similar way, if you press F4 button, if there is any input output adjustment, it may be a CGST or SGST. If you click on this, then also you can find out that if there is any value available for input output adjustment, then also the ledger posting will take place. Now if you press F2 button to proceed further, if you click on yes button, then also you will find out the relevant ledger posting has been taken place automatically. So now you can proceed F2 further to save the transaction on the basis of an input output adjustment. Similarly, if you press F4 button once again, if you have any cross adjustment, that means if any amount available to get adjusted with IGST, the CGST amount or SGST amount is needed to be get adjusted with RGST. So if you can press F2 button from here, then the general voucher posting will take place. The journal gets saved, the account posting will also get text related to IGST output as well as SGST input or CGST input. Okay. Now, after all this adjustment, if there is any remaining amount available to get payment to the government, so similar way also you can see if there is any TDS amount, then also you can TDS on tax amount can be adjusted with the output tax. So there is no value related to TDS, so the ledger posting is not coming over here. Similar way, you can find out that if there is any TCS value needed to be adjusted with output adjustment, then if there is available, then the ledger posting will take place automatically. Okay. So on this report, there is no value available related to TDS and TCS that need to be get adjusted with the regular GST. If you press F4 button once again, if you click on this regular GST payment, then the remaining amount after all the input output adjustment, after all the cross adjustment, whatever value is pending, that is the extra, that may be extra amount that is in my pocket that need to be paid to the government. That also will help you to figure out the exact amount that is going to be paid government through my bank. So my bank ledger will get credited. You can also change the bank ledger from here also. And if you press F2 button to proceed further, then from here you can put the challan number, the bank BSR code date, and you can save the transaction to do the payment entry of your GST. This GST summary report, you are getting the exact scenario of what amount, what is the total taxable amount, what is the total CGST, SGST, and also Busy is giving you an opportunity, or Busy is giving you an option to automatically generate your journal entry against the relevant ledgers. You no need to do the journal entry manually, or if you need to do the payment entry automatically through journal posting, you can do it from this report. So these are all adjustment entries that you can do in one shot through the shortcut called F4 from the GST summary report, which also defined as the automated GST adjustment and calculation entries. Next challenges that comes, which also a part of GST, that is the e-way bill and e-invoicing. How fast you can generate your e-way bill and e-invoicing. So Busy is also giving a power features in this case also. Busy is providing dual GSP to manage both e-way bill and e-invoicing. Get it done faster for you. Busy, we are having the automated e-way bill and e-invoicing system in one click. Let me show you practically in Busy. For e-way bill and e-invoicing, the first step that you need to follow, that is to go to administration, configuration, features and options. See under VAT tab, you enable this option called e-way bill. You click on this configure button, you put all your company's detail like the company's place, PIN codes, all these things. After that, similar way, you also enable e-invoice. You click on this configure button and you put the company place, PIN code. And if you click on this GSP configuration, this is the one-time process. Whatever ID and password you are going to create from your e-way bill portal under Webtel or Pinnacle Finserv, that is needed to be put for the first time over here. This is a one-time job. Once you create your ID and password under Webtel or Pinnacle and put the ID and password over here, then you can automatically generate your e-way bill and e-invoice in your transaction. Also, you can generate both e-way bill and e-invoice in one click. How is it possible? Let me show you from the transaction. If I'm going to do a sale transactions, click, if I mention the details over here, the voucher number. Okay. So for example, I select the sale type, item as I select the party. Shipping details are also coming. I can change the shipping detail. I select the items. I mention the price. I mention the price over here. Now, if I press enter, the taxation details also appearing. Now, if I press F2 over here, then quotation detail box will appear. I can create a transporter through add new button. If I double click over here, I can also mention the GST and detail of that transporter from here. Or else, if I create a transporter name called self, so I select self, and I can mention the vehicle number. Let's say I mention the vehicle number, suppose one, and I'm the options called e-invoice required. Why I also need to generate e-way bill for this transaction. Both e-way bill and e-invoice should be generated within. I think I need also an option to generate e-way bill within e-invoice. If I need this, I can enable this also. That means in under e-invoice also the e-way will get generated for this transaction. The distance is coming approximately. If you click on this check distance, it will give you an option to get the distance directly from the material center or get it distance as per your company's configuration. If I click on this, then my distance will get calculated automatically on the basis of the PIN code. Now, if I click on this button, if I click on the save button, Now it's asking, do you want to generate e-invoice? E-way will get generated within the invoice. That means once the invoice get generated, under that e-way will also will get generated for this particular transaction. I said both e-invoice and e-way will I need to get generated in one shot, in one click. Coming to generate in automatic mode, if I click OK over here, it's asking check error in transaction. If I click on this, if you have made any mistakes in the transaction, then it will come out over in this screen. Now you can see I've not done any kind of mistakes, so I escape over here and I click on this view generate e-invoice, and I click on this e-invoice options. If I press OK button over here, then from here my e-invoice and e-way will get generated automatically. It will get faced from the portal. Okay, the process is how you generate your e-way bill and e-invoicing automatically from Busy. Okay, let me try once again. If the service gets started, for example, I'm providing another. I have already done the transaction. If I want to generate e-way bill invoicing directly from or in bulk, so for that I can go to GST miscellaneous utilities. Here also you will find to generate e-way bill invoice in bulk. So if you click on this option called generate e-way bill or invoice, so you can select this option. If you want to generate e-invoice, you click on this automated and you mention the date. Okay, and you also mention the date. Load list. If there is any voucher available, then it will come. Let's say first I select the end date. All the transaction is coming. If any transaction where e-way bill has not been generated or e-invoice not has been generated, you can select that, or you can select all transaction could generate e-invoice, e-way bill in one shot. So if I select on these options also, and if I click on this option generate e-invoice, so from here also you can generate your e-invoice. Proceed with automatic generate of e-invoice. Yes, you can manage to generate your e-way bill and e-invoice in both way. If you need to manage the e-way bill invoice in according to a single transaction, you can save the transaction and then e-way bill invoicing option will appear. Or if you need to generate the e-way bill invoicing in bulk, then also you can generate from here. The next challenge is that is how to reconcile my GSTR data faster. That means what we find out that whenever we file the return of GSTR-1, we need to match our filing data with our software data. That is called reconciliations. That means if you have done transactions in Busy and you file the transaction in your portal, now after filing the transactions or filing the return, you need to match the transaction whether you have filed the transaction properly or not. So for that, you can, once you upload the GSTR-1, you can also download the GSTR-1 from portal also. So Busy is giving both the options for uploading and as well as downloading. Similar way, if you need to download the GSTR-2 and 2B, that is the data that is filed by the supplier. If you are a customer and your supplier is going to file the return of GSTR-1, then that data is going to be auto drafted in 2A and 2B. So if you need to check the data or you need to figure out whether the data is matching with your transactions, for that you can get the reconciliation report of 2A and 2B according to the download process. Let me show you in Busy. In Busy, we are giving an option to auto download your 2A, 2B, 3B and get the reconciliation report. That you can go to these options as the first procedure that I was telling while uploading the GSTR-1. Similar in this features also, that is to mention the GST portal username. So once you put the GST portal username, then you will be having this option to load or download the data. If you click on this download GST JSON data, which is under GST miscellaneous utilities, if you want to download GSTR-2A, then you can click GSTR-2A. Now if you click on this download button, then it will get download directly from the portal and it will get saved over here. If you click on this manual, then whatever data you have downloaded from the portal, the JSON data, you can save the JSON data on this screen and you can save it. Okay, after saving, you can get the reconciliation report. If you go to reconciliation report, you need to see the reconciliation on the basis of party wise or voucher wise. Okay. If you click on this and you select the starting month or ending month, from which month to which month you want to get the data. And if you want to see only the mismatch, if you want to see or if you want to ignore the mismatch of amount in second level report, then you can disable this. And if you press OK button, you will get to see the details that will show the total fully matched document is showing 30. If you double click over here, if you press enter over here B2B, it will show you the entire entries that has been matched with busy as well as GSTR-2A. That means these are the entries that has been matched also with busy and GSTR-2A. Now if you want to see partially matched, there is a difference in voucher number. If you double click over here, then this is the entry that is partially matched with the portal. Means you have done entries in busy, but it has not been matched fully in GSTR-2A. It has been partially matched. Okay, so what is the difference? Difference is the in the voucher number. Okay, so if you want to see the mismatch, if you double click over here, it will show that this is the mismatch that arises between busy and GSTR-2A form related to the invoice amount. You can see in busy we have done a transaction where invoice amount is showing 8,133, but in 2A it's showing 7. When we file the return, or when the supplier filed the return in 2A, the supplier has done the transaction on the basis of 7,550. So that is a mismatch in the value. This is how you can get voucher wise. If you want to see party wise, then you can click over here, and you can want to see only the mismatch party detail. You can click Y over here to get only the mismatch detail. That means only that transaction will show that is not matched with busy or not matched with the supplier filing. So these are the entries that have not been matched. So it's showing in a highlight way, showing in a red color. So these are the entries that have not been matched. GSTR-2A or 2B portal. If you click on this download GSTR-1, from here you can download the GSTR-1 to get the comparison report. Comparison in the sense, what is comparison? Comparison means if you have done entries in busy, so after getting the entire GST report from the GST summary, it's showing the total taxable amount, the total tax amount. So if you need to compare that, whether the total taxable amount and tax amount is matching with my return form, because I have also filed the return of GSTR-1. If I need to compare my busy's transaction with my, or busy's taxable amount with my return GSTR-1 and 3B, because I have also filed the return of 3B. So I can also download 3B file also, 3B form also from the portal. And against that, if I download GSTR-1, if I download 3B, then I can get comparison of both sales, GSTR-1 and 3B. Sales mean the data which reflect from busy's software, and GSTR-1 and 3B data will show that is going to be downloaded from the portal. So on the basis of that, it will show you the exact differentiations that may appear between GSTR-1 sales and 3B. After getting the report, it's showing to download the GSTR-1 and 3B first, because against the download, the report will show, where it will show you with a highlight that this is the difference between the inner taxable value which showing in GSTR-1 or 3B. That means maybe it may be matched with the busy. GSTR-1 and busy's taxable amount may be matching, but GSTR-1 and GSTR-3B taxable amount is not matching. And what is the difference? That means in GSTR-1, if the taxable amount is 10 lakh, in 3B the taxable amount is showing 11 lakh. So 1 lakh is the difference. So it will highlight you that 1 lakh is the difference between GSTR-1 and 3B, or difference between GSTR-1 and busy. This comparison report can be get through after getting download your 2A and after getting download your GSTR-1 and 3B from download GST JSON data. Okay. Best solution for GST and accounting in busy. Let me highlight the features that we are providing as a best solution for GST and accounting purpose. That is the predefined GST masters. That means whenever you are going to create a company in busy, so if you're going to create a fresh company, you will find out that most of the ledgers have been created automatically. So create all the general GST ledgers. Like say for example, if I select the GST group like duties and taxes. Okay, so under duties and taxes, you will find all these ledgers. These ledger I have not created it manually. It has been created automatically once I create the company. So this predefined master will get created. Date-wise GST rate and HSN code. That means if you need to change the date-wise GST rate and HSN code, that can be done if you go to tax category. For example, now your GST 12%, you need to convert this 12% into 18%, or the 12% product has been updated to 18% from this effective date from 1st of June. So here you can change the date-wise GST. The 12% may be converted into 18% from this 1st of June. So from 1st of June, whenever you're going to do a transaction with an item which is tagged with this GST 12%, at that case the tax percentage will calculate in the basis of 18%. Okay, ITC tagging as per 2A and 2B. how you can get this option. So it is also available in under transaction GST miscellaneous utilities, where you will find a report called monthly ITC tagging as per 2A and 2B. That means whatever data you have downloaded from the portal of 2A and 2B, against that, if you need to claim the data, because mostly 2A and 2B data is uploaded by the supplier. If you are a customer, so for you, supplier is going to file the return of GSTR-1, and that should get reflected in 2A and 2B. So you are going to take a claim on that purchase. For you, it's a purchase transaction. For a supplier, it's a sale transaction. So you need to get a claim on the purchase transaction. So if you need to get a claim, then you can press F4 button over here to get it claim. So before going to claim the data, you can, if you need to check whether the data has been available in 2A or 2B portal, then you press F6 button over here. So it will give you the status of this particular transaction, whether the transaction is available in 2A or in 2B. Then you can claim it. Okay, so then you can claim the ITC for this particular transaction. Also, check purchase invoice status by F6 that I've shown right now. If you press F6 button, you can get the status of that particular invoice, whether the invoice has been filed on or found in 2A or 2B or not. Checking tool, as I've already shown, whenever you're going to file the return of GSTR-1, or whether you're going to generate your e-way bill or e-invoicing, first is showing busy is guiding you that first check the transaction or check the error tool whether you have done any mistakes or not. So we are giving an error checking tool in busy also to help to guide you before going to file your returns or before going to generate your e-way bill or e-invoicing. Registrations and report, you all in busy, you all can get the GST registrations like sale registers, purchase register, GST register report like sale register, purchase registers, GST 2A registers, 2B registers, ITC claim register. That means whatever transaction where you have claimed the transaction, that transaction will reflect in ITC claim registers. Also electronic cash and credit ledgers. If there is any electronic cash and credit ledger, it will reflect from the portal and it will show you in this report. Also, we are giving an RCM posting on single click. That means if you want to generate a RCM entry, so for that you can go to transaction GST miscellaneous utilities. From here you can click on a single click, you can generate a consolidated RCM payable entries. Let's say if you want to generate RCM entries against a journal entry, for example, selecting any of the entries from this report, show you how the RCM process takes place. For example, see, suppose this is an entry. You can see that I have generated this entry through journal. Selected the GST generator as RCM expenses. I have mentioned the RCM ledger, trade carried. I have selected this as tax category as service, and I have mentioned the RCM nature as compulsory. So here the entry has been posted. Now if I click on this F4 button to post the RCM liabilities against this transaction, so I can press F4 button from here, and if I click on the save button against this value, the RCM payable will reflect, or the RCM payable transaction will take place. And if you press F2 button, it will get proceed. Here you can mention the invoice number against which you are going to generate your RCM payable entries. And if you save it from here, your RCM transaction or payable transaction will reflect, and then you can further get a printout for this. Okay. So this is how you can generate your consolidated RCM payable, which is available under miscellaneous utilities. So first step is to generate RCM entries through journal or through purchase, whatever may be your process. If you are going to do RCM entries through journal, then you have to select the RCM GST nature as RCM expense, and you have to select the RCM ledger first, and you have to select the party in the credit side. Then against these entries, you can generate a consolidated RCM payable, which is available under GST miscellaneous utilities, post consolidated RCM payables. It will reflect on your GST summary report. Consolidated RCM payable will reflect over here, and then from here you can do the RCM payment entries, or as well as you can do the entries of RCM adjustment with your regular tax. Managing tax on advance receipt, this is also a process that Busy is providing. That means if you need to manage your advance or if you need to collect tax on your advance entry, that means if you are going to receive any amount which is in advance, then you can select over here advance receipt. So that means if you are receiving any amount in advance, that amount also include the taxation value. So as government has set a rule that whether you are going to receive any amount in advance or not, that amount should also be reflect. That amount should also have a taxation reflection. So let's say, for example, 18% GST. So that means under 80,000, 18% taxation value is also been received as a GST amount from the customer along with the product amount. Okay, as an advance. You can do this kind of advance entries or advance receive entries from Busy also. Report for e-waybill and e-invoicing. That means if any transaction where e-waybill and e-invoicing is needed to be get generated, but you forgot to generate that e-waybill and e-invoicing, and you need to figure out that what are the transactions that I forgot to generate e-waybill and e-invoicing, then Busy will guide you over here also. That, for example, if you go to transaction, if you go to GST miscellaneous utilities, from here you will get the option to go to e-waybill. You will get an e-waybill audit report under generate e-waybill options. If you click on this, it will show you that these are the entries. You can mention the specific date, press OK. These are the entries where e-waybill has not been generated. Now, if you click on this, if you need to generate this e-waybill, that means this is the entry where you need to generate e-waybill, but you have not generated e-waybill. So from here, you can generate a e-waybill, then the entry will get reduced from this, or the entry will get hide from the screen. So this is the audit report. Basically, it will help you to figure out that what are the entries where you have not generated the e-waybill. Similar way, if you need to get the audit report of e-invoicing, so you can get the audit report of e-invoicing also. If you want to see the audit report of e-invoicing, you can click on this invoice audit report. It will show you that the entries where these are the entries where e-invoice has not been generated. If you click on this, and if you proceed further to generate e-invoicing for this section, mention yes for the e-invoicing. If you click OK button, and if you click on the save button, and you want to generate e-invoicing, if you click automatic OK, and if you generate an e-invoicing on this, so the e-invoice get generated, then this entry will not show once again in this report. It is basically the report where you will get those entries where e-waybill or e-invoice has not been get generated. Report generated by self or others. How to figure out that whether the e-waybill has been generated by myself or other has generated my e-waybill. So for that, if you go to e-waybill management system, you can get the option to generate and print e-invoice as e-waybill, and also you will get an option over here, e-waybill detail, generated by self or generated by other. If you click on this, it will show you a report that on which transaction you have generated your e-waybill yourself, or other person has generated your e-waybill on behalf of you. So in the date, and if you click on this view report, at this date, it will show the entire transaction where you have generated your e-waybill yourself. In case of for others, you can click on this, and you can click on this view report to get the detail of the transaction where e-waybill or e-invoice has been, or generate has been or e-waybill has been generated by the other persons. So it's simply written over here that the utility help to download and view e-waybill details generated by the other parties on your GSTR number. That means any other party may be generating your e-waybill on behalf of you by using your GSTR number. Get a track report from this options also. Report clause 44. So Busy also giving a report to verify or to get an analysis of your expenses entries and under GST. If you go to GST reports, GST other report, you will get an GST audit report, you will get an option called tax audit report clause 44, which will help you to figure out what is the expenses entries that has been occurred, and what is the expenses entries that is under GST applicable and has been occurred or recorded through unregistered party or composition party or registered party. So the expenses may be a GST applicable expenses, the expenses may be a GST non-applicable, or the expenses may be GST not applicable. So the bifurcation will show you over here in this. From this report, you can get to figure out the expenses that has been recorded through a composition party or a registered party against a composition party, a registered party, or you can say an unregistered party. Come in Google Drive. So this is all we know. We have previous recordings. We have previous help videos on this auto backupping on Google Drive. Busy is giving an option to auto backup your data on Google Drive through Busy Agent. So you can set a timing on the Busy Agent application, and you can automatically take the backup in your Google Drive. That means you no need to take the backup manually. On the backend, the data backup will take place automatically in the Google Drive. So these are the best solutions that Busy is providing in case of both GST as well as in accounting purpose to all the, as well as you can say to the prospects also, those who may be using Busy or who are going to purchase. So that's all from my side. Hope this session was knowledgeable for all of you. So right now, if anybody having any questions, any doubt, any queries, can share the questions in the QA session. We will be happy to reply on that.